Well, it's another rainy day, so I guess we won't be out for a drive in the Aston Martin. So instead, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and install the headlight vent kits that I got from Aston Martin Upgrades. They're to prevent the condensation from occurring in the headlights and shorting out the circuit boards. Reason why I bought this kit now is because my taillights had the same issue, and I got recently pulled over and have a work order to replace them. So they are quite expensive, and I really don't want this to happen to my headlights, so this is kind of a preventative measure. But you can contact a guy named Ian, put his information in the description, and we'll go ahead and install, and I'll kind of time-lapse this whole thing. Okay, so I guess in the box, go ahead and open it. This looks like a return form. Got a manual. Oh, this is pretty nice. It's a very solid manual. It even has a job number and the date it was tested on there, so that's good. Your caulking, that's the wheel weld, I believe. Here is the passenger side and driver side kits, the vent kits. Looks like some, yeah, we got some zip ties in here and some foam padding. And then I guess this is the main wire harness here. That should be probably what we're going to be doing first, and it gives you a packing list here. So I'm assuming we're going to go ahead and hook this up to the terminal, and then we're going to route all the wires to the locations, and then we'll go ahead and take the wheel off, jack the car up, get into the fender liner, so that we can install these guys and then hook them up to the cables that are routed. And then we'll go ahead and seal everything up with this, and then put the wheels back on. So hopefully another straightforward install, but I'm going to learn it as I go. So let's get this going. Okay, so here's the wire loom that we're going to go ahead and tackle first. This right here has a bracket. This is the power source right here. I'm going to try to install it on this guy right here. Some people have a relay that's connected right in this area. I don't have one, but you can see here's that red wire that'll go and attach to that part right there. And then we're going to go ahead and route this long wire to that side of the headlight, and this guy right here will come right down in this area, and we'll wait to get the car jacked up to start putting that vent kit on. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and get the power source connected. We're going to get this bolt off. That is a 10 millimeter, and then the nut that they supply for this guy is a 13 millimeter. So we'll go ahead and tackle that right now. Okay, the bracket is in. Module sitting right down here. Went ahead and put in the power. So the only thing I'm going to have to do here is this won't close because this wire is sticking out right here. So I'm going to get a milling Dremel and just cut out a really small notch right on the edge right here very carefully, so that when I close it, it'll be completely sealed there. So you'll see how that wire kind of sticks out there. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and start routing. Next part, we're going to go ahead and start routing the long wire, and we're going to go ahead and put it kind of underneath. There's a hose that runs underneath of there, so I'll go ahead and attach all the zip ties and get it nice and snug and kind of follow that line, and then kind of tuck it right down there ready for the wheel welds. This one's already tucked down here, so that'll be the next thing. The next thing we're going to do is, this is the shortest cable. That is the sensor cable that's going to go and touch your coolant hose so that it can get a temperature reading off of it, so it will tell the fans to either shut off or turn on. This is the sensor that will connect right in there. This in right here I can't even focus, but this end right here is the actual sensor, so we're going to go ahead and use these. These are reusable zip ties, so I'm assuming if you ever need to replace the coolant line, you'll have to throw these away, but they're going to go ahead and secure that sensor so it touches right on that coolant hose so it can get a reading right off of there. And then we'll go ahead and route this next shortest cable, and we'll tuck it right down in this area, and then we'll get the longest cable and run it all the way through to that end. Alright, here we go. Okay, I just finished up getting that sensor connected. There's the connector right there. And then the two zip ties that are reusable, that's the sensor right here that is going to lay flat and get the reading off how warm or hot that coolant line is, and then it'll kick on the fans. So once you get it up to operating temperature, fan should kick on, and then once you turn off your car, it'll cool down and then the fan should kick off. Alright, now we're going to route the rest of it and get ready to lift the car up and start working on the fender liners. Okay, so the longest wire is going to run alongside this wire that's underneath my slam panel, where there's a grommet, and it's this guy right here. It's kind of hard to see, but we're going to go ahead and attach it to that grommet that runs underneath that slam panel. That goes all the way the length of it, and we'll use that as a guide, and then we'll feed it through that corner down there. Okay, next thing to do is we're going to go ahead and take this wheel off. 21 millimeter deep socket right here, and we're going to go ahead and jack the car up, and so we can get access to that front area of the fender. And there is a little compartment we're going to take off and put in the new venting kit in there and hook it all up and then silicone it, and we should be done. So I'm just going to do one wheel at a time, but we'll just go ahead and get going. Alright, so if anyone else has an Aston Martin, you know how much it sucks to lift this car up. Took me a little bit to figure out where the jack points were again, I forgot. We got it, so here it is. That is the access panel right here that we're going to try to get access to. There is a flathead that just turns about a quarter right there, and this access panel will pop off and the new vent kit will go in. So we're going to try to feed the wire through there. I believe there is like a rubber gasket and some 2 bolts that are holding something else together. So we'll go ahead and pull that out and we'll get started with that. Okay, so this is the wire that we fed through. We're going to go ahead and plug it right up into this guy here. That'll give it the power. This right here is a venting tube, and we're just going to point that inside the liner and point it down so it has some air to breathe. And we transferred the brass bolts onto the new housing and the gasket right here. And then here's the old, oh sorry, that's the other side. Here's the old cover, just something like that. And then what we're going to do here is, here's the liner, and right across the top here, this is the important part, has a foam strip, and that's what that foam was in the package. I'm just going to go ahead and put a new seal on there so it'll keep it pretty dry. Let's go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll do the other side, same thing on the other side. Okay, so this went ahead and put in the vent kit cap here. This is an extraction cap here. Here's the breather hose I just fed down here. Kind of made it flush with the fender well, went all the way down. This is the cable that connected up here. What gave me trouble was, so this actually kind of protrudes out versus the older. I don't even have the older cap. Oh, yeah, I do over here. So this is flush right here. It's actually concave in, but this protrudes out, so this hose kind of got in the way of that, and it was very difficult to get it in there. But yeah, this is kind of built like that to accept these two hoses in that slot that lay right here. But we just kind of moved it aside gently. It's not really pinching on anything. Went ahead and secured it. It's pretty tight in there. We're gonna go ahead and put the liner back in. Let me get it. So I cleaned up the inside of the liner here, and I put all new foam strips around to really prevent any kind of moisture or water getting in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put that back in top there. Figure out a way to bend it. This is gonna be kind of a pin. Okay, and that's it. So we're gonna test it first on both sides, make sure the vent kit is actually working, and then we're gonna get that black silicone that they supplied, and we're gonna seal this entire fender here so that any water that's splashed up doesn't get through. But we do have that 2 layers of foam that should absorb most of the water, but just in case. Okay, and then to the other side, same thing on the other side. Alright, last thing we need to do is put that fuse in, and we should be wrapped up. We're going to go ahead and put it right in that guy, the fuse housing right there. It should be pretty watertight, but we're going to put it right in there. And then I'm going to make a Dremel cut right here, a little notch on the side of this guy so he can close and not pinch the wire. And that's it. Okay, we just cut that little hole out for the wire to sit flush with, so when you close it, it doesn't pinch it. It's just big enough for that wire, so that's it. So the fuse sits right in that thing right there, and you put a cap on it, and it's watertight. So we're gonna go ahead and test it all out now, and if it's all done, last thing to do is silicone. Just got back from a drive. It was raining yesterday, so I had to do a next day drive here test. But both fans are blowing. You can hear a low droning in both of the headlights. It's probably too loud outdoors here. I'm about to wash it. But yeah, so now that we're done that, we're gonna go ahead and take this wheel back off and then just silicone that whole area right there and completely seal it shut so that no water can get in. Then you have that breather tube, which allows some of the air to kind of drain out. So that's it. Hope this was helpful.